I actually have a question that someone gave to me earlier, and
Sure.
it's actually in regards to CBC.
Yeah.
And so what can be done about Trudeau's $600 million media bailout fund? A free press is critical to a healthy democracy, and having the government fund the mainstream media with our tax dollars is a blatant corruption of our democracy. It's just, doesn't seem to be, conservatives don't seem to get a fair shot in mainstream media.
Yeah, right. Trudeau bought the media. He's expanded the CBC, which has just become a gigantic propaganda house for the PMO. And it's truly become like a state broadcaster would be in most dictatorial countries. It just regurgitates the party line. And But the rest of the Parliament Hill media is not much better. Much of them are represented by Unifor, which is a hardcore liberal union that runs attack ads against conservatives. So you have journalists effectively through their union dues donating to attack ads against conservatives. You have large parts of the print media bought off with this $500 million fund. So what can we do about it? Well, one, we have to go around the media. That's why I use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media to go around them. I haven't even been on CBC's Power and Politics show in over a year and a half, and I don't miss it one bit. And I'm more able to communicate with my people now than I was when I was on those shows, because I just go around them, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful just to be able to communicate directly with everyday Canadians without going through that terrible liberal filter in the press.
Right.
And the second thing we can do when we take office is to cut it, defund the CBC, and cut this media bailout fund so that we have a freedom of expression again in Canada.
Mm-hmm. And so how does that relate to Bill C-10? I know other people have covered that, but it's still like the whole freedom of expression is an important, very important part of our democracy.
Yes, without it, you have no other freedoms. These things are all related. Trudeau realizes that if the media oligopoly on Parliament Hill gets broken by social media because Canadians can go around them, then he will no longer control the message. And so he's tried to regulate what you can see and say online with this C-10 bill. That bill empowers the CRTC, a liberal appointed bureaucracy, to promote, demote, and even delete certain social media posts in order to promote what they call Canadian content. Well, what is Canadian content anyway? To me, Canadian content, like in Canada, there are literally hundreds of thousands of hours of social media of content posted by Canadians every day. I consider all of that Canadian content. But obviously the regulator is not going to consider that. They're going to have a preferred list of different media and artistic and entertainment companies whose content is given the check mark or the stamp of the maple leaf, and that will be all you'll get to see, because the regulator will be rigging the algorithms to determine what people see and say online. And that mean that those who have the most powerful lobbyists will get ahead. Look, this agency regulates your cell phone and internet. How many think that the government's policies favor you, or how many think that they actually favor Rogers, Bell, TELUS, and the telecoms? I think everyone agrees the telecoms do whatever they want. We have among the highest prices in the world and some of the poorest service. The same agency that creates the environment for for the telecoms to rip us off is the same one that will be determining what you get to see and say online. So we know what's going to happen. Powerful interests with money are going to go with lobbyists and get the algorithm rigged in their favor so that they have a more prominent voice, and everyday Canadians who can't afford a lobbyist won't. And of course, it'll be the politically correct liberal agenda that will predominate. So we're against C-10, 100% against it, in favor of free, unmitigated speech for Canadians. And the good news is this: we were able to delay the bill so long that it didn't pass the Senate before the summer break. And if Trudeau calls an election as we expect, the bill will die on the order paper. And if we win that election, we will make sure it never rises again.
Right. And we need to win a majority to make sure that that doesn't happen, right?
That's
Or,
right.
yeah, yeah.